Gatos. It turns out, sometimes in racing, they have victory celebrations. And I saw one on Twitter that went viral because it was bad. It was a very poor taste, in my opinion. So I was going to bring it to you, but Moist has already covered it and made a video about it, so I thought we could watch it together. So let's watch this one together. So
there's a video floating around right now that has to be the worst celebration I have ever seen. Now, something I've said for a while that no one really thinks about is that celebrations can sometimes be dangerous. I remember there was a very famous case where a football player had scored, I think it was the game-winning touchdown, and his team, in all of their hype and like excitement, dogpiled him like it was a scene out of The Waterboy, and ended up like breaking his pelvis. And I think that ended his career. But I also will never forget when I was a kid, I actually watched Bill Gramatica, who was the kicker for the Cardinals at the time, tear his ACL through a very simple celebration after a first quarter field goal. So what happened with Bill Gramatica is he kicked his field goal. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then to celebrate, he did one of these. How wild would that have been if I blew out my ACL doing it? But he gave a little leap, pumped his fist, and upon landing, blew out his ACL, MCL, DVD, VHS, CBS, and BBL. Like, absolutely annihilated his knee. And his career was never quite the same.
That sucks.
But even with these historic celebration blunders, the one I'm about to show you today, I still feel is worse.
Awful.
5 points go to Shane Byrne, 20 to Alex Lowe's, Josh Brooks on 16, Kirkham 30.
What is this?
11, Keith
MCE?
10, and the rest down to 10.
Why are we watching a TV?
Shaky Byrne and the 42nd race win of his British Superbike career.
Superbike. Oh. Oh wait, I need to move.
Very unkindly dousing the MCE insurance girls who sensibly got their crush on.
Whoa! Whoa! Buddy, why? Under the skirt? Huh?
You ever get so excited you just sexually assault someone? Like, I'm pretty sure that would be classified as sexual assault, right? Like, you can't just start putting things up people's orifices without their consent, no matter what the context is.
Yes, inappropriate
like, this is clearly not in the script. He like goes under
dude?
Her skirt and then blasts the champagne
like
shower there like some kind of geyser,
her?
like a volcanic eruption. That's just downright diabolical, and I know it was probably painful too. Now, I've never butt chugged, but I have to imagine getting alcohol forcibly shot up your asshole is going to hurt. And contrary to popular belief, I don't have a vagina, but if I did, I would imagine that would be equally as painful having all of that shot there too. It would sting and burn. Like, if I was getting alcohol being blasted up my bussy, I'm screaming. Like, let's say Moist Esports wins the Apex World Championship this year, and Matt decides to celebrate by hitting me with, like, the 1,000 years of pain.
Can we just...
I'm pressing charges.
Can we just leave ladies alone?
Give all of you watching something to celebrate.
Oh, come on, GPU. You can do this.
Plague Seeker Issue 1 is here. My newest comic book series. It's 80 pages of just the most beautiful, most
#ad moist
fucking violent, raw action you'll ever see in a comic book. I swear to God. As I mentioned with Plague Seeker, I was heavily inspired by Berserk for this one. And every single page of this is just a masterpiece. The artist, Vampire Tranel,
be nice to Papa Moist. We watch a lot of his
no matter where you go in here, it's like a beautiful piece that you'd want to hang on your wall. So, issue 1 is here. You can find it at badegg.co. It's written by myself and Jackson, and the entire team put together something
well, you
super
should
special
respect
here.
the ladies'
The
boundaries.
I do
want to
extremely talented. The lettering is done by Dave Sharp.
So
yeah, definitely go pick up a copy at Plague Seeker. There'll be a link to it in the description. Badegg.co. Also, it's more than just action, by the way. It's just, I think the action in issue 1 goes so fucking hog wild, like Insano style, that I can't help but mention it. Now, admittedly, I'm not super familiar with Superbike and the traditions when it comes to celebrations, but I still feel terrible for these podium girls here, because for some reason all 3 of the dudes on stage there are showering just them in the champagne, and it doesn't seem like they like it. And even the announcer was like, oh my, that is very unkind. To the first guy who's just behind him super soaking them with the champagne, he's just sitting there using them like target practice for it for some reason. Like, is that normal? Is that what they're there for, just to be like a sponge for champagne? That sucks. But even if that is the role that they agreed to, they clearly
Hey,
did
what's
not
up,
agree
Captain McFriendly?
to
How
having
are
someone
you?
go underneath and like violate them with champagne. That is very much crossing a line. That is not part of their contract, I imagine. The whole celebration is just weird from all three of them. So obviously the main guy who goes under her skirt, his name is Shane Byrne, or Shaky as they call him. But the other two
Yeah, the
guys as
internet has
well,
shown us
I don't really
creeps
understand
and
it.
all the
All of
stuff
them
women have to
targeted the
deal
two
with.
podium
It's on a
girls,
daily
when in
basis for
every other
them. I do
celebration
not
for
envy
every other
women.
sport, usually the champagne shower is
Not
towards
bad,
the
Stressy,
crowd
but how's it
or
going?
like
Doing
each
good,
other
doing good.
or like
Glad
their
to have you
team.
back.
Not just like the two girls standing there at the podium. It just feels weird, but for some reason, all three of the dudes just come up and start like blasting them
Blasting
with
them.
champagne, like they had a grudge against them. It was like a hazing ritual or something. They were like fucking bullying them with the champagne. Maybe they were, bad blood between them or something, but it just seemed like brutal. Like it seemed
They
like
know
they
what they're
had like
doing.
a bone to
They
pick
know
with
what
them.
they're doing.
Now, after this started to make the rounds in 2021,
Yeah, that was
Shaky
just weird.
did come forward to issue an apology in regards to the situation.
I'm aware of a video that's currently circulating on social media of myself in 2013.
Oh, this is
where I
old.
inappropriately sprayed a promotional lady
This
with
is old.
champagne on the podium. I'd like to say I deeply regret what I did that day, and I'm truly sorry. I'd like to apologise not just to the lady, but to the other women on the podium that day, to all of my fans, and to anybody else that's been offended by my actions. I can only apologise.
Oh,
and I'm truly sorry.
he's.
Super short, super
I'll back
simple,
it up
just
for you,
saying that he
Captain
deeply regrets
McFriendly.
what he
I'll
did,
back
he
it up for you.
apologizes for it, says sorry to all those affected, and is
After we're
trying
done.
to close the book on all of it.
But
I still can't
he
quite wrap my head
inappropriately
around how
sprayed
this
them with
celebration even crossed his mind as
He
appropriate
inappropriately
or some kind of good idea.
splashed
Like,
them
I
with
understand
champagne.
getting lost
Like, he
in,
literally went
excitement,
up
right? Like,
her
I've celebrated
skirt
some super
with the
important
bottom of the
achievements in my life,
or with his
like
spout of the
checkmating
champagne bottle.
XQC in 6 moves and then going on to win the entire chess tournament, which is where the entire throbbing celebration from me came from. But at no point was I ever so excited that all common sense and reasoning just went out the window.
Yeah.
I understand celebrations that lead
inappropriate.
to injury far more than I understand this celebration that led to an enema. Like, Bill Grammatica celebrating like, yeah, and then blowing out his ACL. I get, like, you're fucking pumped, you jump and you hurt yourself.
Yep.
Unlucky. Or another football player, I
celebrated
remember, got like a sack, and then he
reaching my
jumped up in the air and
sub-goal.
stomped both feet down, and he like
And
broke his
said
leg doing
something
it. Those
inappropriate.
I get. Like, you're excited,
And it is now
you
forever
let out a
clipped.
bunch of steam all at once, and then you end
Thanks
up
to
just
smokescreen.
breaking your body from it. But this, he was so excited that he just goes to like fucking Neanderthal brain. He's like, "Whoa!" and then like shoots champagne up her butthole.
Yep.
That shit just doesn't make any sense at all. But yeah,
All
I saw this
hashtag
today, and I
smokescreen.
just had to talk about it a little bit. That it has to be the worst celebration I've ever seen. Again, I feel horrible for the two podium ladies during
Yep.
this because this shit is cruel. This looks awful. Now, I do want to just mention again, Plague Seeker Issue 1 has been a passion project for about 2
Hashtag
years now,
ad.
so to see Issue 1 finally be out there, I'm super excited for all of you to get your hands on it and get to
All right, there you go, gatos. Go see Plague Seeker.